a lot of the Kanye record actually got mixed in this room.
Right,
He's been working on it for probably between 6 and 8 months. Built up all this mass of stuff, and then we got together and went through it all and kind of shaped it.
It's an intense listen, but I'm liking it. I need a little time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
radical.
Amazing.
It's radical. It's funny because another friend of mine, popular artist, played me their album right like the day after we were done working on the Kanye thing, and it was hard for me to listen to, hard for me to know how I felt about it because it just sounded like regular music.
Right.
It sounded
right. Your brain had been reoriented.
Yeah. So now this I can't even tell if it's good or not because it just seems so ordinary, even though it may be incredible.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I've just been a little submerged in it.
How did Kanye come to you? How did the record come to you?
He called me up. I'd just finished working in the studio for about 2 months on different things, and I was really getting ready to go away on vacation for a couple of weeks. And he called up and said, "Can I just come play my album?" And I said, "Sure." I always like to hear what he's working on. And he came over and we listened, and I thought a finished album was what we were going to listen to.
And where was this here, or was it at your house? At your house.
At my house. And he came over, and it was we listened to probably 3.5 hours of works in progress, a lot of stuff. So it was really a rough sketch of a lot of music. Mm-hmm. And I remember just thinking, it just seems these are cool things, but it's a long ways off, and I'm assuming they're going to come out next year. Mm-hmm. And I said, "When do you think of finishing up?" And he's like, "Oh, well, it's coming out in 5 weeks." And I said, "Really?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," completely confident and just fine.
So he wasn't stressing about the
deadline.
Not at all.
Not at all.
All right.
Okay. And I said, "I have a record coming out in November that's a lot further along than this." And he's like, "Really?" And then we'd listen to some things that I was working on, and he liked them, and he's like, "Okay, that all sounds really good. What are you doing for the next 5 days?" Well, I was going to go away, and he's like, "Please help me. Would you be open to helping me kind of fixing it and shaping it and finishing it off?"
So he almost didn't realize how much more work there was to be done?
I don't really know. Yeah. I really can't even say.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed impossible what he was asking. Mm-hmm. We ended up working probably 15 days, 16 days, long hours, no days off, just on.
How long? How long were the hours? 15
hours a day, just intense focus.
Did you know?
I was panicked the whole time. He wasn't at all. He said, on the last day he was leaving, 3 days before we had to turn the record in, he tells us, "Okay, I'm going to Milan tonight." It's like, okay. And it's far from being done, and there are probably 5 songs that need vocals. And two of them probably need words. You have to write the words and deliver them. Right. 3 of them just performances. Right. The performances are doable. Writing the words and doing the performances, very unlikely.
In 3 days? Was it you said?
No, that day. He was leaving that night.
Right, but then the record was due in 3 days. In 3 days, right, okay.
But he was leaving that night. So he said, "Okay, I have to go to this baby shower, and I'll be back at 4. And from 4 to 6, I'll do the vocals." And I said, "Okay." He's like, "Don't worry." He said, "I'll score 40 points for you in the 4th quarter." This is his quote. It ended up probably taking 2 hours, between 2 and 2.5 hours before he left. But it was full on.
Jeez.
NBA Finals.